On the occasion of 75 years anniversary of the establishment of Kurdistan Republic in 1946 in the city of Mahabat, Iranian Kurdistan. After World War II, oppressed nations worldwide made efforts for attaining their rights and freedom. The Kurds, as a nation in Iran, was no exception. Under the leadership of the Kurdistan Democratic Party, the first Kurdish Republic was established on January 22, 1946, in the city of Mahabat, Iranian Kurdistan. Qazi Muhammad, the first leader of KDP and the president of the republic, represented a national and civil movement demanding the rights of the Kurdish people and presented a sustainable alternative for peaceful coexistence. For this purpose, to resolve the Kurdish issue within Iran, Qazi Muhammad reached out to the political leadership in Tehran by referring to democratic principles and international conventions which give nations the right to self-governance. Unfortunately, the central government were in favor of the denial of pluralism and ethnic diversity in Iran. In response to the Kurdistan Republic's president's desire for peaceful coexistence, they decided to attack Kurdistan, crushing the newly established republic and hanging its president and his fellow colleagues. After Iranian Revolution in 1979, the Kurds, through meetings and negotiations with the new government in Tehran, and Ayatollah Khomeini himself, once again tried to resolve the Kurdish issue peacefully. However, again, the demands of the Kurdish people for their legitimate rights were answered by severe attacks on Kurdistan, killing tens of thousands and executing hundreds of defenseless Kurds. The Islamic regime have shown total neglect towards the Kurdish peaceful approach. They have systematically ignored every opportunity to resolve a long-standing conflict within their borders. Instead, they have adopted the policy of denial, terror, and execution. The disgraceful record of the Islamic regime includes the continuation of the systematic repression against the Kurds, the assassination of our party leaders, arbitrary arrests, torture and execution of political activists, and the comprehensive inhuman policies against a freedom-seeking and a civilian movement in Iranian Kurdistan. Today, 75 years after the establishment of the Kurdistan Republic, reflecting on the Kurdish political movement in Iran and the leadership in Tehran and its policies, one realizes that the fundamental problems still remain. The policy of denial, efforts to exterminate the Kurdish nation by suppressing their rights and freedom, applying a view of Kurdistan as a national security threat, and the state-sponsored terrorism against Kurdish people continues excessively. This one-sided hostility has been a reality for 75 years. Our party still believes in a peaceful solution of the Kurdish question in Iran, despite having three of its leaders, Qazi Muhammad, Dr. Qasimlu, and Dr. Sharaf Kandi, murdered by the leadership of Tehran. Despite this, the political movement of the Kurdish people and its core aims has not weakened even a moment. The KDP will always believe in the legitimacy of a peaceful struggle. This is due to our political nature and that our national identity is rooted in the humanistic, modern, peaceful, and freedom-seeking ideology of the Kurdistan Republic. As a token for this claim, I would like to refer to our latest response to the terrorist act of the Islamic regime, when, on September 8, 2018, the IRGC attacked our party leadership meeting with missiles. We stated clearly we do not answer a terror act with terror. We rely heavily on the support of the Kurdish people, which 4 days later, on September 12, 2018, manifested itself when the Kurds demonstrated civilian disobedience in Kurdish areas by holding a general strike in condemnation of the Islamic regime. Despite all these atrocities, the Kurdistan Democratic Party, as the inheritor of the peaceful desires and noble ideals of the Kurdistan Republic, and with a steadfast belief in the national rights of the Kurdish people, always invests in the cooperation with parties, organizations, and democratic movements opposing the Islamic regime of Iran. After more than 75 years from its establishment, our party is still the champion of a freedom-seeking approach based on a democratic discourse that values social justice and peace. We strongly believe that a multi-ethnic society such as Iran needs to be ruled democratically, where consensus is the only practical and desirable way forward. With it, we will be able to bring about social justice, democracy, peace, and stability in the country as well as within the region. Thank you for listening.